Namaste, good morning. Thank you so much for joining today. As always, please practice in accordance to your abilities and your comfort level. But try to find a balance between trying to go to your edge of your potential, make a good effort so that you're always continually making progress. When you make progress, you remain motivated to continue with the practice. But at the same time, please be mindful of your limitations. Remember that God is within, and so everything you're experiencing, God is experiencing as well. So you want to deliver the best experience to all beings, for all beings are tied together through that divine thread that ties us all together in the spiritual heart. So let's begin. Sitting up tall and straight, close the eyes, bring the attention inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything we need can already be found within. So begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you're becoming one with all beings. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your thoughts in God alone. And in God we live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to the inner light. Om Namah beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's do the mantra for purification to purify the space, the grounds, and all the psychic channels within. If you know it, you can do it along with me. Try to do it with conviction and with volume so it can be heard by all the subtle bodies within and all around us. And we do it 3 times, do each one in a single breath if you can. If you don't know it, just pretend you're singing it through the voice of the Guru perfectly and you derive all the benefits as though you were chanting with those intentions in mind. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Va Sawa Vashtanga Topi Va Yaha Smarit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sjihi. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Va Sawa Vashtanga Topi Va Yaha Smarit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sjihi. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Va Sawa Vashtanga Topi Va Yaha Smarit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bihantraha Sjihi. Let's do color breathing. We're going to take our attention to different areas in the body and flood that area with a certain color. This has the effect of increasing our aura against psychic attacks. Psychic attacks is just negative energy that's directed towards you, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. Imagine a great sphere of colors surrounding you. And it also has healing effects. If you bring an intention of healing to the area that you are concentrating on, your attention is like a magnet. It pulls all the prana there. So imagine you also bring healing in that area, in yourself, and of course in all beings, because all we have, is meant to be shared. Just allow, when we're chanting the sound associated with that area, try to let the sound just linger on the breath until you run out of breath. So let's take the attention now to the lower 3 chakras, in the root of the spine, the sacral area, and the navel. The color is red. Flood the whole color area with red. Sound is ah. Inhale. Ah. Even after the sound disappears, imagine that you can still hear the sound and still see the colors and feel vibration doing their work. Next, we go up to the heart. The color is green. Imagine healing is coming to the heart in the physical and the emotional sense and the spiritual sense. Sound is you. A little bit of a higher pitch this time. Take a deep breath in. You. Next, the throat, base of the throat. The color is blue. The sound is so. Remember that all the words coming from the throat should always be ones of loving kindness. Inhale. So. Next is the third eye area, the center of the forebrow. The sound is E. So think of the sinus area. In this area you find the pituitary gland as well, and that is the hub of the whole endocrine system. When the endocrine system, all the glands are in the body are healthy, the body is in a state of radiant health. Sound again is E. The color is another shade of blue, different from one you just imagined. Take a deep breath in. Chant it loud so that others that you're directing the energy to can feel it. Now we stay in that area, maybe a little bit behind where we were, and at the center of the forearm. The sound is Sun, S-U-N. The color is indigo. The vibrations produced by the latter part of the sound, the N part of the sound, imagine them strong enough to dislodge all the impurities from wherever they're residing in a body, to be brought out in the bloodstream, to be carried out of the body. Sun, inhale, indigo. Sun. Next, the crown. The color is violet. The sound is Sum, S-U-M. Again, vibrations are produced by the last part of the sound. That's also with pressing of the lips together when you're forming the humming sound. Feel the whole brain, the whole top of the head vibrating. This helps to promote mental sharpness and clarity. The more mental sharpness you have, the more discernment you have. And discernment is important for reflecting upon the knowledge, which leads us to the highest knowledge eventually. When we're ready for the highest knowledge, that's when we can realize what the true self really is. The sound, again, Sum, the color violet at the crown. Inhale. Sum. Take a moment to just notice any changes in state of the body, the mind, and the emotions. Be like the witness, observing it all. Have no judgment as to what you observe, no expectations, no attachments to the results. Try to stay in this mindset of the witness throughout the practice. Remain undisturbed, regardless of what happens. Think of this as your divine obligation to all beings everywhere. Do it simply because it must be done for the benefit of all. Now we continue with the practice. We imitate all the different manifestations of God, or some of them anyways. There's so many. But we represent some of them anyways. And we try to see God in each and every one. As a way that God manifests in this universe through these physical beings of which we are one. So let's celebrate the magnificence and beauty of all forms. Come to standing. So we begin with some warm-ups. So we want to try to shake the joints, move them so as to warm them up and to just keep them in a state of suppleness. Swing the arms, move the body from side to side. Let the arms hit the body like heavy ropes. See all the way around you. Good. And now bring the hands onto the hips. Circle the head. Try to get the ears, the shoulders, the chin to the chest, the back of the head to the top of the back. And then go in the other direction now. Wherever the head is in its rotation, try to always keep your eyes on the ground. Now, the right arm up, left hand down. You're going to pass the meet in the center. Swing the arms in opposite directions. After 8, we switch, left hand up. And then right hand up, again, going the opposite direction. Left hand up, twitch again. Now bring the arms up over the head, take hold of the opposite elbows, bend to your left and then to the right. Pull on the elbow, for the waist. Come back to the center and little circles over the head. Head, neck, and shoulders mostly to start with, moving. And then as you feel comfortable, gradually make the circles bigger, the chest and your back coming into the movement. Feeling more sensation all throughout the trunk of the body. And if you feel comfortable to do so, circle the whole trunk. Use momentum with the downswing to bring the body through the circle smoothly. Coming all the way up, go in the opposite direction, starting with small circles again, over the head. Remember, all beings are feeling this through your body. So practice in a way that is mindful. It doesn't bring you to a place of pain or suffering or anxiety or distress. Circles again, getting larger progressively until, if you like, you can circle the whole trunk, tracing large circles in front of the body like a windmill, the arms of a windmill swinging. And come all the way back up. Release the arms. Shake out the wrists, move the fingers very, very rapidly in any direction that you like, up and down, side to side, or even little circles. Just feel all the joints in the fingers and the wrists being shaken vigorously. Good. Now, arms up to the side. If you like, bring left hand on the wall, and then we're going to swing the right leg back and forth like a big pendulum that went out of control. Drag the knee right to the shoulder. Arch the back as the leg swings back. And then the other leg. Imagine trying to get the toes to the back of the head. And then release. Now the feet together, arms by sides of the body. Coming up on the count of 6, halfway up, we lift the heels and the palms. Inhale, up, 2, 3. Rise up off the heels, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And down, 2, 3. All the movements graceful. Inhale, 3. And come up higher, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And push the heels back down, 2, 3. You have to keep pushing through with your toes. Inhale, 2, 3. Engage the leg muscles and the core. Up, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And down, 2, 3. One more time. Watch the body moving gracefully. 2, 3. Come up, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And down, 2, 3. Chin on the chest and a gesture of humbleness. Stay in this humble mindset throughout the practice. Renounce all the fruits, dedicate them to all beings everywhere. Come forward, and then what you do becomes even better in practice, even better in meditation. Becomes a divine gift of love. Hands to the heart. Surya Namaskara. Imagine we're all together physically, sharing the same space, moving like a school of fish. Raise your arms up over the head, arch back. Fold the body down. Bend your knees if you need to bring your hands flat on the ground. Right foot back, lower down the knee, drop down to the seat. Come into the plank, knees down and the seat all the way back behind the heels. Glide between the arms. Pull at the floor to propel yourself forward with more power and fluidity. Take the seats back. 2 more times. Brush your nose to the ground, come forward between your arms. Push the shoulders back, widen through the chest. And then 1 more time, come all the way back. Glide forward, uncoil like a serpent. Peering out to look at the world, peering out at the world. Adho Mukha Svanasana, lift the seat up, head comes down below the arms. If you can't, touch the forehead to the ground. And then the right foot steps forward, back knee down, sink down to the seat, push the seat right in. If that's difficult, you can't get the foot forward very easily, bring the left knee down first and use the right hand if you need to assist the foot forward. Then Uttanasana, pull the feet together and then pull the body to your legs. Come right to standing. Engage the buttocks and upper back to support your movement. Hands back to the heart. Go up and back. Don't worry about the breath. Just move the body. The breath will follow and deliver more fluidity and grace and power. Left foot back. Into the plank. Down go knees. With knees down, the seat all the way back. Come forward. Remember, blessed are those who imitate the form. Physically, copy the teacher, copy the movement of the snake. Take the seats back, come forward again. Twice blessed those who can imitate the teacher. Mentally, be regal and wise like the serpent. And then all the way back again. Take the seats behind the heels, glide forward, brush nose to the ground. 3 times blessed those who can imitate the teacher spiritually. And then all the way up and back. Tap into all the divine qualities of all beings everywhere. The left foot steps now between the hands. Feet together, bow to the legs, gesture of humbleness. Come right up to standing. Adhamasana, hands to the heart. Go up and back, keep on being a witness, watching the body moving, watch observe the mental reactions and emotions. Again, remain without judgment, without expectation. Right knee back, right foot back, knee down. Into the plank. Ashtanga Namaskara, knees, chest, forehead down. And as you come through, hips come to your hands, lift the hips and knees away from the ground. Upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, mount, allow the heart to mount. The right foot steps forward to the hands. Feet together, Uttanasana. Come right up. Hands back to the heart. Move with efficiency, with power, but with the utmost grace. Make it beautiful so that the witness within, the Supreme Teacher within, is pleased. Take the left foot back into plank. Knees, chest, forehead down. Glide forward to your arms. Do homage to the teacher by doing it just as the teacher would do it, the way you were taught. Into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot steps forward. Feet together. Bow to the legs. A gesture of humbleness, gratefulness. Come all the way up. Hands back to the heart. Remember, the Guru is the one who leads us to the light. Raise your arms up, gives us the knowledge to help us to evolve, to attain self-realization. Uttanasana. The right foot back. This time, keep the back knee up, building always. Into the plank. You can do Ashtanga Namaskara again, knees, chest, forehead down, or if you have more strength, bring the seat back, the knees stay up. Swing right into upward facing dog. You have to pull the elbows into the sides of the body as you do this. Push them with your toes. Now pulse here. Take the shoulders back, the arm lengths. Do sometimes. Imagine trying to fold the body in half, but try to avoid making a big fold across the lower back. Telescope the body out of the hips. And then lift the seat. Come back into downward facing dog. Pulse here. Try to open up the shoulders. Try not to bend the arms, but try to get your head down below the arms. The belly towards the thighs, the chest almost touching the ground. Look like a dog stretching its back. Exhibit the loyalty of the dog to its master. Now raise your right leg up. Send the foot between your hands. Shoulders over the fingertips so that the foot lands softly. Back knee stays strong. Feet together. Uttanasana. Come right to standing. Reach up. Hands back to the heart. You have to keep on being willing to explore the edge of your potential. Otherwise, in 20 years, as Dharmaji says, you'll be in the same place. 20 years, your practice is still going to look the same as it does today. Keep the back knee lifted. Into the plank. Again, Ashtanga Namaskara, or bring your seat back. Keep the knees up off the ground as you come right into upward facing dog. Hips don't touch the ground either. Again, pulse. push the shoulders back. Try not to jam up the back neck, keep the neck long. And then lift the seat back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, not the heart. When you have open shoulders, it opens up many possibilities in all the poses. The wings of the heart, the shoulder blades, so work them. Now raise the left leg up, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the foot between the hands again, shoulders over the fingertips, so the foot doesn't land a big thump. Back knee stays lifted, and then the feet together, Uttanasana. Come all the way up to standing, reach up over the head. Come back home. Bury your mind deep in the heart, watch the body move with even more grace and fluidity and power. Arch back, this time, new variation. Bend your knees, land your belly on your thighs, and push your body against the legs to get the seat over the heels. The hands come over the shoulders. If your body starts to detach from the legs, just keep your knees bent a bit. Now look forward, hold your breath, keep the weight on your left leg, right foot back, Kapiyasana. Bring your arms up over the head, shine your inner light like the crescent moon reflects the light of the sun. And then break the pelvis, bring the hands down. Adding on again, options. Left leg swings all the way up into Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come forward, shoulders over the fingertips. You can bring your foot down here if you like, beside the other one, or keep your leg up. Try to come down without touching your leg and your hip down. Bring your chest down first, and then right into upward facing dog. Modify if you need to. You bring the knee down as the chest is coming down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then the right leg comes up. Step the foot between the hands. Back knee down. Into Kapiyasana. You can keep your knees, your toes bent under to make the transitions more easy. And then come forward. Belly on your thighs, hold the breath. The left foot comes in to meet the right. Uttanasana. Belly to your thighs, the head down. Come right up to standing. Reach up and back. Come back home. You have to visualize yourself in the practice you're trying to attain. And then with constant practices and determination, you will arrive. Chest on your thighs, push this body into your legs and the feet up over the heels. Uttanasana. Now looking forward, keep your weight on your right thigh, left foot back. Kapiyasana, swing arms up. Try not to touch the ground in between with your fingers. And then come right back down. Hands down on either side of the right foot, and then just swing the right leg all the way up and back. Three-legged dog. Come forward into high plank. If you're trying to come down to your chest first, pull the elbows inside the body, push loose your toes, and the heels, your palms, the base of the fingers. Come down with control. Hold your breath if you need to. Right into upward facing dog. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then the left leg comes up. Step the foot between the hands. Back knee stays strong and lifted. And into lower the knee down. Kapiyasana. Feet all the way forward towards front heel, arms come behind the head. And then now, come forward, lean your belly on the front leg, join your hands behind the back, touching the ground with your fingers, and right into Uttanasana. Top of the head towards the feet. Come right up to standing, reach up over the head, and come back home. Hands to the heart. Good. One more time like that. Raise your arms up. Stretch the whole front of the body. Approach a chin nature which is boundless. Bend your knees. Land your belly on your thighs and pull the hands right over your shoulders if you can. Feet over the heels if you're flexible. Look forward, the right foot back. Knee down. Kapiyasana. All the movements connected together seamlessly like a divine dance of love. Left leg up. And come forward, shoulders over the fingertips, come down. Elbows into the sides of your body, stay strong. As you come down and then right through into upward facing dog or cobra, Adho Mukha Svanasana. The right leg comes up, step the foot between the hands, back knee down, into Kapiyasana again. And then come forward, swing your hands back behind you, and feet together, Uttanasana. Bounce the legs. Every movement reflects an intention of some sort. Open yourself up to divine grace, surrendering to divine grace. Hands to the heart. One more time. Raise your arms up. Come forward. gesture of humility here. Bend your knees, push your belly into your thighs, the head comes down towards the feet. Keep your weight on your right leg, left foot back. Kapyasana. Come right back down. And swing the right leg all the way up and back. Keep visualizing your body moving the way you want to see it move. Shoulders over the fingertips. And then the body will, chances are, realize what you see in your mind. Into the Adho Mukha Siddhanasana. You can only go as far as your imagination. Left leg up. So try to cultivate a boundless one. Amazing things are ahead of you. Knee down, sink down to the seat, especially if you're in adherence to the ethical rules and you share the benefits with all beings through your intentions. Swing your hands back. The right foot comes in to meet the left. Uttanasana. Come right up to standing, reach up over the head. And then come back home. Take pause here. From the heart. Inhale the love from the heart up to the crown. Hold the breath. Imagine all the love being sent out to all beings everywhere. Exhale back down to the heart. Remain established in divine love towards all. And release. So let's try some balance poses now. Start off with ballet pose. Standing on your left foot first. Anchor down through the edges of your feet. The toe pads and the base of the toes. Hold the right heel from the inside, thumb behind heel, and take the right leg out. So depending on your flexibility, you try to have your toes and fingers on the same line, and maybe at the shoulders. If you're more flexible, bring the leg up higher. But if you got the leg higher, you have to lean to your left a little bit. If you can't hold the leg straight, you start to hunch or whatever, you can bring your hand under the knee and you can extend your leg. If you're having trouble bouncing, you just stand against the wall. Good. Lift up here. Flex the foot. Look up. If you fall, just come right back up. Be unconcerned, undisturbed, unjudging. Just do your best. Now from here, release a foot. Lean to your right. Left. Try not to drop the foot in between. Right into gliding eagle. Bend your left knee so your belly can come onto it. Your head about the height of the knee, your arms out to the side like the wings of a great, magnificent eagle. Try to get your foot higher than the head. Now push into your left foot so you can come right back up into ballet pose. Good. Be poised and graceful like a dancer. And then release, bring the foot down. Be the witness, watching yours. Play it out in your mind and see if the body will realize what you see in your mind. Now the other foot, take the heel with your left hand, the left heel, thumb behind the heel, and bring the left leg up. Open up a little bit, bring the head back. If you find the balance. This pose says, I'm yours, take me, grant me higher. Devotion. Make me higher in my art so I can share it with others and bring them joy. Now from here, let go of the foot, hold the breath so the foot comes down without, with control. Right into eagle. If you need to bring your hands down at any point, all good. It's all perfect. Wherever you are is perfect if you're just trying your best. Eagle, imagine you're swooping down from a great height or skimming the surface of the ocean. Merge with the form. Now press into your right foot, come all the way back up. Take hold of the heel again, thumb behind the heel, the inside of the foot, and then the thumb behind the heel, and then right into dancer again. Good. And back down. Sometimes you have the balance, some days you don't. Just dance with it all, be unconcerned. Next, come to the back of the mat. Left foot steps forward, the left hand comes down. Bring the right leg up, Ardha Chandrasana. Now try to make distance between your fingertips and your foot. If it's too close, it might be difficult to turn hip all the way open, and it might be also difficult to balance. Bring the right leg up as high as you can, your hip over the heel. Same line. Good. Now from here, if you want, you can see if you bring your left hand up off the ground. Look towards the hand in front. Hold the breath. So you can take your left hand to your heart. Then bring the left hand down, the right hand comes down. And move the hand back so the left hand is now on the ankle. The index finger just along the outside of the heel. Bring the right leg up, bend your left knee to get your belly on your thigh. And you try to look towards your toes, just beyond your toes. And you can bring the right hand in eventually, maybe on the foot as well. Try to bring the right leg up higher. Option here to play. Bring the hands down on either side of the foot. The wrist just in front of your toes and lift the heel up. You have to push to the base of the toes of the leg that's raised above you. And here, if you want, hold your breath. See if you can push the foot right off the ground. The float a little bit. Bring the left foot up if you like to meet the right. So if you're doing this, just imagine being hoisted up by the hips. Hold your breath. Visualize your body doing it. Good. And then come back down, release, and try it on the other side. So, right foot forward. Bring the right hand forward. Again, make sure they have good distance, about 14 or 16 inches at least, so your torso it's at its full length. Left arm up. Pointed toes to make it look, the lines look nice and smooth. No breaks in the line of energy. Good. From here you can look towards front hand if you like. Hold your breath. Bring the right hand to the heart. Keep your gaze steady. Right hip over the right heel. Right hand back down, left hand down. Turn so your belly's right on the middle of the thigh. The right hand comes to the ankle. Try to get your left leg up higher. And then push your belly against the thigh. Bend your knee if you need to. The right leg. Index finger along the outside of the heel. Left hand moves in. Maybe eventually on the foot as well. You have to have your hip right over the heel. Gaze a little bit beyond the toes. Down, and here again, you can see if you pull your heel up off the ground. Push into the roots, your heels, your palms, press up to the base of the left toes, and if you like, see if you can come right up off the ground with the foot. Eventually you might be able to get the right up to meet the left. If you go over, it's good practice for hands for going into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Sometimes good to just do things, experiment with things so that you remove the fear, you know what to expect. And then come back down from wherever you're at. And roll your way back up. Good, now, come to the middle of the mat. Fingertips in one line from elbow to elbow. Jump your feet apart. Go to your left. Turn your left foot forward. Try to go a little bit deeper into the pose. Work your hips a little bit. Your knees over the toe eventually. Your back knee is just inches away from the ground. Be strong and mighty like the warrior. Determined. Always doing the utmost to protect those who they serve. Bring the right arm up to meet the left. Virabhadrasana 1. If you can't turn your hip all the way, you can lift your back heel. If it's too much, you lower your back knee down. But embody the warrior consciousness here. Now from here, see if you can lift your back, lift yourself up a little bit, Parivrtta Paschimottanasana. The right arm comes the outside of the left leg. Try to get your armpit to sit on the outside of the knee. Your left hand pushes into your right. Do it this way. So you don't stay here with your hands trapped by the front of the shoulder, your body behind the leg. You have to push the left hand down to the right so the body comes higher. The belly comes higher than the thigh, and then you roll the left shoulder all the way back. Keep pushing through the heel of the back foot. Keep the back knee lifted. Don't allow it to sag and your hips to sag. Keep a straight line from the heel to the top of the head. Those who want to take a bind, you can use your left hand to guide the hand underneath. Sometimes it's easier to take the bind when your knee is up off the ground, but you have to try to keep the balance. So do the poses, find your own tricks. With constant practice, you will find these tricks to enter the poses with more efficiency. Now from here, release, bring the back knee down. I'm going to turn that way now. Kapiasana. Hands above the head, rock your shoulders back, push your seat all the way forward towards your front heel. Bring your arms all the way back. Try not to bend the arms, think of the shape of a crescent moon. You have to wiggle your shoulders, get them more open. That's why you do the downward dog pose. Get your chest down, close to the ground, and your belly close to your thighs. If you want to try other variations, go ahead. You can turn to your right if you like. Bring the right foot up. If you can't join your hands together in your swan, you can keep your foot just pressing against the inside of the arm and do spear pose. It's a nice variation. If you can, you bring the foot close to the shoulder, lean towards the foot, your fingers by the ear. Left hand reaches across, lock your fingers and turn the wrist away from you. Lift the wrist. Try to get your head over your arm over your head, and then you try to push your foot away from the shoulder. Think of a swan's neck. It doesn't have any kinks, so you try to smooth out those sharp joints at the elbow joint, those sharp bends. Break the pose. Pull the foot towards the shoulder, release it down. Again, no jerky movements, no clumsy, abrupt, loud transition. Do it all smoothly. Your left foot moves out to the edge of the mat, and you push the right foot back. If your hips are low enough, you might be able to fall to the right and onto your forearm. Roll back to your left. If your hips are too far from the ground, just stay on your hands, but imagine your hips are made of lead. When your hips are down, the rest of the body will follow more easily. Keep on toes, sculpting your chest forward. Think of the cobra pose, trying to lead the motion with the heart, and then the body will flatten more. Otherwise, the back kind of rounds, and then the back still is higher than the knee. So you want to sink. Imagine your hips are like a big, heavy, wet sandbag. If you're all the way down, you can do your variations as you know them if you like. Make sure your knee's not falling onto the side. Keep it close to the shoulder. Eventually get your left shoulder right on the foot. If you know the bind, you take your left arm over your foot, on the outside underneath the knee, and your right hand comes over your back. This is for if you're flat on the ground. Merge as a form, find that being is at ease and put yourself in that place. You too may find the ease. Now break the pose, come back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Bring your hips back, your toes are lifted on the front foot. Bow to your leg. Try to get your belly on your thigh. Your cheek is probably resting on the left, just inside the left shin. And you keep on telescoping your chest forward. Imagine trying to get your chest beyond the knee. Take your attention to all those areas where you want to find more release. That's where the prana will go, to those areas. Now lift the head, hinge your seat forward, bend the toes under and back foot. Start to slide your left foot forward, then walk your hands back alongside your hips so that your shoulders stay over the hips. Now pulse, depending on your flexibility, you keep your back knee and your front knee in the same line, and then you just gradually try to come down. Don't make the bounces too aggressive. Be careful again. Don't go to a place of pain or anxiety. If you're all the way down, you can do any variation. You can twist if you like, right hand to the outside, left hand to the back leg, or you can come forward if you like. You can even do a bound lizard from here, sort of like you lift your left knee up a little bit, you slide your left arm underneath. You have your arms out to the side or over your back again. So lots of different forms. But try to see the similarity in all the forms, as opposed to the differences which cause separation, discrimination, or judgment. Now break the pose, coming back. From here, lean to your left. Bring the left foot in so the heel is in line with your knee. Rock from side to side a bit. Try to get your right side of the hip to come down as well. Take your foot with your right hand. If you're more flexible, you try to have your heel in the same line as the knee. If it's too much, you bring your foot in closer to the hip. And then slide your left hand forward. Try to get your belly, your chest to come right onto your front leg. And then your right hand comes forward as well. If you're feeling heavier on one side, usually in this case the left side, just keep pushing into your left hand, tip to the right a little bit. Try to get more weight to come into the right hip. Surrender. Coming back. Back leg goes lax. Right knee can move out a little bit on the edge of the hip. Dharmasana. So you try to get the center of the chest in line with the middle of the foot. Try to take your elbow to the sole of the foot. Right hand pushes into your left, left pushes into right. Try to get the center of the chest behind your thumb. Roll the right shoulder back. And roll the right thigh down. Try not to wrinkle the waist in between. If you're more flexible, take your shoulder in front of the foot. You can rest your head in your left hand. Your right hand goes behind your back. Your left hand can come to your left thigh and roll it outwards. If you're a little bit less mobile, you just bring your elbow in front of your shin instead of on the foot. Okay, so do again what you can, but try to keep your hands, your center of the chest moving behind the thumbs. And break the pose, coming back. From here, bring the left knee back up. Bend the toes under the back foot, lift the back knee, turn back toward the center and come up. Okay, now go to the right. Bend into the right knee, come forward. Like the warrior who never hesitates to do their duty. Strong lines here. Look over the front hand. Be steady in your efforts. Don't slack off even between the poses. Remember, God is always watching. And if you start to look unenthusiastic, the teacher that might affect the teacher as well, the mood of the teacher. So try to keep the teacher engaged. And proud of the students. Bring the left arm up to meet the right. It's an offering, remember. Offer the best, the best. Good, now from here, we're lifting the back heel, going to the right now. Parivrita Parsvakonasana. Try to get your armpit on the outside of the knee. The right hand pushes into your left. Again, you push hard so the belly comes over the line of the thigh. See that? And then push the right. Keep pushing the left hand into the right. Right into your left. And turn your chest and face upwards. If you want to take the bind, your elbow has to be in a space, free space underneath the right leg, the knee. And use the right hand to guide the hand underneath if you like. And then join your hands underneath the belly. Push the right, pull on the wrist if you have your wrist to get more rotation. Break the pose, bring the back knee down. Kapyasana. Your seat is right towards front heel. so we can stay balanced in the pose. Wiggle your shoulders back and forth again. Keep your arms straight, close to the ears. And if you want to take your other variations, swan or spear, your knee has to be a little bit offset from the other one. So more to the edge of the mat. So when the foot comes up, is like more in front of the body. You can stay like this if you can't get your foot into if you can't take the bind, or you lean towards your foot, you hook the fingers together, lock them together, lift your wrist and turn the wrist away from you, and then you push your foot away from your shoulder. But if your foot's all the way behind, it's going to be hard to take the bind. So you want to push, use your arm to push the foot a little bit forward in front of the body. And then from here, break the pose. Left foot down, turn to the front again, the right foot moves to the edge of the mat, and see if you can fall onto your forearm, onto your left hip, roll back to the right. Again, stay on your hands if your hips can't come down very much, but keep on imagining their hips are attracted to the ground by a magnet. Use whatever visualizations help you to feel the hips like an anchor of the body. If you want to take a bind, the right arm passes over the foot to the outside and then underneath the knee, over the back, and then holds the left wrist. Time to be still in the pose so you can find the opportunity to merge with the pose, tap into the consciousness. Break the pose, come back onto the hands, lift your seat up and bring it back in line with the back knee, lift the toes up on the front foot, Ardha Hanumanasana. Rest your belly on your thigh, but keep actively pushing your chest forward as we're trying to get beyond the knee. Try not to hunch the back, so sometimes this thing happens here. Bend your right knee if you need to, push your seat back. Visualize the shape in your mind. And see if you can see if the body will go there as well. If it doesn't, remain unconcerned without judgment. Now from here, if you can bring your seat forward, bend the toes under on the back foot, and start to slide the right foot forward. If your foot's getting stuck on the mat, just move forward a little bit so your foot is sliding on the ground. And then, instead of the sticky mat, which sometimes prevents it from moving. And again, bounce a little bit, lightly. If you're all the way down, again, do whatever variation you like. Lots of different options, a nice twist here, or maybe coming all the way down, and maybe you take a bind. Your left arm goes underneath the leg, underneath the thigh, and if you can join your hands over your back again. You can only go as far as your imagination. Keep cultivating a boundless one. Amazing things are ahead of you. And then release. Coming back out of the pose. If you don't stay in the poses, you don't train the muscles, and then the body, it takes longer in order to master the pose if you don't stay in it very long. So you have to explore a little bit and stay a little bit longer. So bring the left foot now in line with the right, not the left foot, the right foot in line with your knee if you can. Rock from side to side, try to get the left side of the hip to come down more. Then take hold of the foot with your left hand and pull the right hand forward. Modify as you need to, but try to have both sides of the hips equally down. And lengthen the torso. Eventually, your leg is very close to the top of the chest. Push into your right hand Tilt to your left if you're feeling too heavy on the right side, or more heavy on the right side than the left. Even it out. Use your discernment. Now come back. Move your knee a little bit further out beyond the edge of the hip, and then turn to the right. Back leg is lax. Just allow it to come in a little bit, and try to get so that you can more easily place your elbow in front of the foot. So you might need to move the foot further away or further to the right. Left hand against the right hand, Anjali Mudra, and keep pushing into the sole of the foot with your elbow. Try to get the center of the chest behind your thumbs. Roll the left shoulder back. Look beyond your left shoulder. Your left thigh rolls down. Your left shoulder rolls back. If you can, you bring your shoulder in front of the foot, and you rest with your right hand supporting your head. Your left hand behind your back on the thigh. As you push into the foot, try to elongate the torso. Try not to make any folds in the waist on either side of the body. Then break the pose. Coming back, bring your right knee up, and then turn towards the center. This way here. And from here, arms out to the side, come up again. Easy Chakasana. Pull the heels in. So the toes are still wider than the heels. Bring your hands on the seat. Push into your seat. Bend your knees so your knees come over your toes. Push into your seat, pull down, and allow the head to go back. Don't go too fast, especially if you have low blood pressure. You have to move slowly and mindfully. And if you feel okay here, you can slide one hand down, just underneath, and then the other hand. You push the heels of your palms into the backs of the legs, just underneath the knees. And you use your hands to roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. The thumbs as a result will come further through. The head drops back. Those who are more flexible can do a couple of things. You can either walk your hands down all the way, step on your fingers maybe with your heels. If you feel comfortable, you can see the ground easily. One hand over the head, and then the other hand, Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, so you can come onto your fingertips, push your hips forward, right hand comes back onto your leg, and then the other hand. And then the rest of us, you make your way up, along with everybody coming up. Walk your hands up one at a time, one hand over the other, higher than the other, and come up. As you're coming up, bring your chin into your chest so you make your transition a little bit more easy. Arms up to the side now. Open up the heels a little bit so that the edge of the feet are in line with the short ends of the mat. Hands behind the back. If it's too much, you can bring your fists together, your knuckles together behind your back. Or you can hold opposite elbows. This is also a little bit, this works the shoulders a little bit, just like having your hands over your head, but so be mindful again of your shoulder mobility. So lift the chest, bring the head back, and come forward. Press heels, your palms together if you can. Come forward, bring the body right between your legs. If you're flexible, maybe the head will touch down, maybe even the hands will come down. Try to get your head in line with your feet. If you're more flexible, you try to bring your head further in so that you're almost on the back of the head, and back of the head in line with your heels. Eventually, maybe your chest will be behind the legs. Now release the hands, bring them down to the ground in front. You have a choice. You can actually stay in tripod, Prasarita Padottanasana. If your head doesn't make it all the way down, you just do your best. You can bring your hands in tripod now. Those you feel comfortable and get your hand on the ground, you might need to open up your feet a little bit more. And press into your hands, straddle your way up. If you can't straddle your legs up easily, you bring your feet behind your wrists.
And then just press underneath the knees against the elbows and pull your toes away from the ground. Maybe see if you get your feet up higher towards the seat. Eventually you can take your knees up off the elbows. And depending on comfort level, you can either bring your feet behind your seat, your knees over your hips, and then up straight, or split your legs. This is more easy to balance like this. One foot in front, one foot in back. Keep your legs, your feet flexed and active. We won't stay long here. Come down. Same pose as before, the previous pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. Engage your core to coming down so that the feet land in the same place. Now arms out to the side. Join your hands behind the back or knuckles together. What you did to enter into the pose and come all the way back up. Easy Chakrasana, one more time. Pull the heels in, land your hands on your seat, push your hips all the way forward, and go back. If you move your hands down the legs, just try to push your hips forward and up a little bit more. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Any expression you like. Coming back, walk your way up, one hand higher than the other as they walk up. Push your hands into your seat as you're coming up, tuck your chin into your chest, and come back up. Arms up to this side, jump your feet together, Tadasana, mountain consciousness. From the base of the spine, which is like the base of the mountain, inhale all the way up to the crown, which is representative of the summit. Exhale back down to the base of the spine or the mountain. Remain unshakable in your practice, in your devotion to serve others. And then now coming into side plank, actually, go and come to the back of the mat. If you feel confident and you don't have any wrist issues or shoulder issues, you can fall into plank, you can do that. Or if you need to, you just modify by bringing your knees down and then walking into table and then into plank. So whatever you like, you like. When you start from standing, arms up in front, hold the breath, and come forward. So look towards the front end of the mat. Now, Vasisthasana, move onto your left hand, left foot, turn to the right, and right into Vasisthasana from here. And keep your ankles crossed. If you feel like you can stack your feet. You can lift your leg up level with the hip. Back down, into plank, go on the other hand. Your wrist should be a little bit in front of your shoulders so that you can keep your arm fully extended. So try not to sag down through the shoulder, lose your neck, and sink down through the seat. Better to just put your knee down. Okay, so don't put undue stress on your shoulders. From the head to the feet, one line. If you want, you can lift your left leg up. Come back into plank. From here, right knee down. Swing your foot out to your left knee comes in behind it. Foot goes out to the right and sit back between your feet. Pull on the ankles so the knees come right on top of one another. If this is too much, you can't get to both sides. Your seat down, you can just sit on your heels, just like this. Soka Gomukhasana. And so, pick your choice of stance, and then bring the right arm up. Take your left hand to the elbow, push it up higher, and then bend the arm down so the hand comes between your shoulder blades. Walk hands further down, anchor the arm in place with your head, the back of the head, and if you can join your hands together behind your back. Don't strain the shoulders, don't go again. If you know you have shoulder limitations, be mindful. Push your chest up, lean back a little bit. Try not to fall back into your hips.
drop your shoulders, maybe the back starts to hunch. Keep your body upright and tall. And from here, release. You can bring your hands down. And from here, you can jump in the air, switch your legs in midair, and then land on the other side. Or you just switch your legs around, whatever you like. So if you press into your hands, and then come down. So your left leg is on top this time. Sitting between your heels, or stay in Sukha Gomukhasana with your, just sitting on your heels with your thighs together beside one another. Left elbow comes up, left arm comes up. Use your right hand to guide the arms so that the hand comes further down between your shoulder blades. And if you can, you bring the right arm up and see if you can join your hands together behind the back. Try and get your elbows in the same line with your head in between. And pull the hands towards the lower back. Break the pose, tuck the chin in, release. Okay, we'll do now the king of the postures, headstand. If you know what you're doing, go ahead into it. If you need assistance or demonstration how to get in, then I'll guide you through it. Okay, so if you need a chair or a wall, you can place yourself against the wall. So start with your feet right against the wall or the base of the chair. Bring your elbows down so they're underneath your shoulders. You should be able to hold your elbows easily. Then bring your hands forward, interlace your fingers, place your head between your palms. This is the easiest way to balance, and it's not as much pressure on the head. So you bring one foot on the seat or on the wall. So if the foot is on the wall, like of course my foot would be flat. It's hard for me to maybe look perfect in a pose because I don't have a wall here, but you bring your other leg dangling behind you. The foot is hanging loose, like a low-hanging fruit. You try to have your foot close to your body. The more compact your body is, the easier it is to balance. Keep your toes very active, the base of the toes, push it to the base of the toes, keep your feet very active. If it's too much to do this, you don't want to have the feet to leave the ground, you can stay either in dolphin pose, so you can start the same way. Elbows into the shoulders, bring your hands forward, and then bring your seat up and stay here. And you see if you can lift your seats a little bit more, try to get maybe your feet come closer and closer. Your chin over your fingers, your shoulders and your elbows in the same line. Okay, you can lift your heels up. This really works the core here. You feel this in your core. Or if you can bring your head down, you bring your head down if it doesn't bother you to have the head on the ground. If you push more weight, push in with your forearms, you'll take the pressure off the head. If it's still too much, you keep your knees down, your shins down, forehead in front of your knees, and then lift your seat up. Try to get your back, your upper back up so it looks like a wall. Push the belly button through the lower back, push the heart between your shoulder blades. Then you might take your seat up off the ground, your knees up off the ground. Then you can go into different poses. Bring your right foot back, keep one foot on the ground, bend the toes back, and you're off the ground. If you keep pushing through the back foot, you'll eventually come up. You can come onto your fingertips as well. Palms towards you, fingers equal distance apart. More seconds. Stay the pose again. And see if you can come off all but just the index fingernail. All the way on your head. Eventually full Shirshasana with no hands on the ground. And we'll come back down softly. Child's pose.
Breathe in. Breathe out. Arms forward. And then we're going to come forward into Cobra. Glide right between your arms and right into Cobra. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Getting ready to jump forward and then move forward somewhere at the front of the mat here. Jump your feet where your hands are. Lift your seat, lift your heels, bend the knees with the hands. Spring forward. You're at the top of the mat, near the top of the mat. Lift the heels up really high. Maybe your legs start to shake. Enjoy it. Be undisturbed. Going down lower very slowly. Maybe your seat just on the heels. And now going to go right back into baby plow, but not baby, easy plow. Tuck your chin in, your seat follows behind your heels. And come all the way. Feet come behind your head. Your hands come to the back at the same time as your legs are coming up. Your seat's coming over your shoulders. Now you can stay here if this is where you're at. Keep your hands on your back, especially if your feet don't touch the ground. Otherwise, shoulders stand. Bring your hands behind your back. Try to get your arms all the way behind you so that when you're looking from the front, you can't see the arms at all. And from here, when you join your hands together, your elbows will be close together. And then when you bring your hands on your back and come up, you'll have a straight line. Your seat directly over your shoulders. And you'll bring one foot up at a time. Shalangasana. When one leg is up, just reach up as high as you can, like you're trying to touch the ceiling, and then the other leg will come up to meet it. If you have a lotus, go into your lotus. Make your mind even more one-pointed. Push your knees up. You can use your hands. So the knees are higher than the hips. Remain steady. This is for full lotus, not just half lotus. If you can't do a full lotus, just do a regular, like the foundational pose with your legs straight. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go deeper within beyond the body, your mind, and emotions. From here, flower pose. If you don't have a lotus, here's a lotus. Keep your lotus, bring your legs right against your body, and if you can, you wrap your arms around the outside of the legs, join your hands underneath your seat. Embryo pose. If you don't have a lotus, hands on your, stay on your back as your legs are coming down. And if your feet touch down, you can bring your hands down to the ground behind you. You can stay in plow or drop your knees down right on your shoulders. Maybe in front of your shoulders eventually. Withdraw from its excess. Close off the ears, close the eyes. Now from here. If you can, bring your hands on the back. Land one foot at a time in bridge pose. So if you have wrist issues, then just come down a regular way and go into bridge pose. Otherwise, keep your hands on your seat. Come down one foot at a time. Keep pressing your hands into your seat so the foot lands very soft, not making a sound. The other one follows it. Okay, so now we're all in bridge. How we got there, not important. Just do your best, go to according to your abilities. Now from here, couch pose or fish. If you're doing fish, you just bring your hands flat on the ground, lower your seat on your wrists, and extend your legs. Then from here, you push into your lower arms, lift your chest, and tilt your head back so the top head comes to the ground. Option 1, if you want to do a couch pose, you lift your heels, bring your heels together, and then walk forward on your shoulders and elbows until you can hold on to your ankles. Your elbows are going to be just behind your heels or beside your heels. Then push into your elbows, lift your head up off the ground, and tilt forward. Keep holding your ankles. You have to lean forward so your knees come down. The seat stays on the heels, and then you take the top head to the ground. You can keep holding onto your ankles, or take hold of your opposite elbows in front of your forehead. Now from here, breathe very fast in the nose like a sniffing dog. From here, if you can, your hands, and you're in couch pose, your hands come beside your head, fingers facing towards your heels. Lift your seat again up off your heels. Push by pushing hips up, pushing your hands, and lift your head up off the ground if you can. Urdhva Dhanurasana. That was a good setup to come into. You might have to walk your hands out a little bit more before you come up. Okay, if it's too much, go into bridge pose again. Or keep your head on the ground. Ardha Urdhva Dhanurasana. Stretch, rock back and forth if you like. Good, now lower the heels down. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, bring your head down. Rest for a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out all fatigue. Learn to let go of the effort instantly. Again, breathe in through the pores of the skin. Imagine beams of energy are coming in. Exhale, flood the whole body with that energy. Feel rejuvenated, recharged. Now from here, we're going to sit up. You can go into plow pose if you like first, or part way, and then we'll run up to seated. Open up your legs as the legs are coming down. Open up your feet so they're above the edges of the mat, the width of the edge of the mat. Bring your arms underneath your legs. Take hold of the feet just close to your heels and try to get your chest down between your knees. Your elbows keep pushing up beyond the shins. The goal is to try to get your chest lower than the knees, your shoulders lower than the knees. If this is very easy for you, you can do the full pose. You don't need to stay in these interim poses. If your shoulders are down low enough, below the knees, you can bring your hands, pointing the fingers backwards. Bring your feet in a little bit closer so they're just a little bit more in shoulder width. And then your elbows will be free. If your legs are closer to the elbows, you might not, A, it might be uncomfortable, B, you won't be able, your elbows will be locked down, you won't be able to move your arms. If your elbows are free, you'll be able to take your hands, maybe join them over your back. As Dharmaji says, think of the physics of the pose, the shape that you're trying to attain. What forces do you need? What actions do you need to free up or to engage in order to find the pose? Use your judgment, use your discrimination, your discernment. From here, break the pose, come back up. From here, bend your knees, come into a squat. Good. Now from here, left shoulder moves in, left elbow comes right in towards the root. Lift your seat just a little bit so you can get your left arm underneath the leg and see if you can catch the right wrist with your left hand. Straighten out the right leg. Keep your head down for a moment. So sort of like a forward bend. But if you like, you can shift your weight onto your left foot. Bring your right heel up off the ground. Maybe eventually you can take your toes up off the ground. Just practice a little bit. So your right foot, it's not bird of paradise. Those you can bring your right leg up. So you have to have your hip right over your heel. Your gaze upon your toes and raise your right back down, release, come back into a squat. Try it on the other side. Move your right shoulder in, your elbow comes right close to your seat. Lift your seat just as much as you need to. If you lift it too high, you might be hard to take the bind. You might be inclined to try to bind around the seat, which is more difficult. Your hand just on the back of the thigh. When you lift your seat, right hand comes down, you catch the hand, and then you lift your left hip up so your left leg straightens. Okay, so doesn't matter if the right leg can't get fully straight. Just try to get your left leg straight. Again, you can try to come forward, shift your weight more into your right leg. Try to get your hip right over the heel. Gaze beyond your toes. Hold your breath so you get your left foot up off the ground. Even just work at least the heel maybe. And then maybe you can bring the left leg up eventually. You have to push the back of the shoulder into the legs. So it'll take a few tries. Keep trying. Get your shoulder anchored against the leg. So, open up the hip. Okay. And come down. And then release. Back into a squat. Good. Now from here, back to back bending. So just come onto your knees. Actually, we'll go into cobra first. So come onto your belly, and then bring your hands behind underneath your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, make your way up. If you need to modify, Sphinx pose. You can hold the front edge of the mat if you like, and keep pulling on the mat like you're trying to stretch the mat. Try to get your chest forward away from the seat, bring your head up. So Sphinx pose looks like this, elbows underneath your shoulders. You stay here. Be very heavy through the hips and the lower legs. Anchor down through the legs, lower body. Be like that shape that statue that has stood the test of time after thousands and thousands of years. If you can, lift your elbows up off the mat, bring your head back. And then maybe you can eventually move the hands closer to the body bit by bit. Don't lose your neck, keep your neck long, extended. Keep moving back. Curve your spine. If you want, you can come onto your fingertips. Try to have them close to your hips as possible. Lift your body up higher. Imagine your seat's going over your head's going over your seat. If you want to try king cobra, if you're very flexible, move your legs apart a little bit, push into your fingertips, bend your knees. Point the toes. Imagine holding socks behind your knees. Then you flatten your hands as well. Now from here, if you were doing king cobra, your legs are bent already. Lower down a little bit. Then pick up your thighs off the ground. Skydiving pose. Push up to the base of toes, arms up like you're free falling. You can stay here if you can. Reach behind, take hold of the ankles, right into bow pose. Pull up by pulling on your legs. Your legs will bring you up if you pull on them. Then you try to get your toes higher than the head. Might not be able to hold the pose very long at first. So if you need to break a pose, come out, but don't rest too long. Maybe 1 or 2 breaths at the most, otherwise you lose your enthusiasm. Then come right back up again. Maybe the body starts to shake. Try to be like the wind is. Undisturbed. Surrender to the pose. forehead on the hands, breathe in, breathe out, rest. Hands underneath the shoulders, pick yourself up into table, sit back on your heels and bring your legs in front. Just legs straight, right hand behind the seat, down the side of the back, left hand. Break the pose, lie on the back. Make your way down softly. And then once you're down, relax everything. Feel as though you fell from a building. Learn to let go of all the tension, all the effort immediately. The best of the best is coming to you now. Imagine being flooded by all the goodness coming in, all the benefits. You attract them as a result of offering up your practice. Accept everything with gratitude and direct all the incoming benefits to the spiritual heart in the center of the chest and the right side of the physical heart, to the residing place of God, who is equally present in all forms. So all that you bring into God as an offering goes out to all beings automatically. Through the practice, we cultivate compassion. When we merge with the forms, we cultivate a deeper love for them, seeing how God manifests in that form so gracefully, so beautifully. Right down to the lowliest insect or plant even. Everything evolves. Everything moving towards self-realization. Have compassion for all things, animals, not just your pets, all beings, regardless of their comportment. Remember that we pass through that as well. We all have to experience everything in order to arrive to a higher place. We gain the knowledge bit by bit from the experiences, and through those experiences we learn to break some of those habits that land us in a place of suffering as a result of maybe having less, not the compassion that we need. As a yogi now, you've gained some knowledge. Keep spreading it to all beings. The highest form of karma, yoga, selfless service, is to impart the knowledge that helps people to break those patterns that cause us suffering. So keep on sharing. Keep on exercising it yourself. Put it in everything into practice. Now prepare to sit. Come back slowly, gracefully.
gracefully, mindfully. Preparing to bring your love, continuing to radiate your joy, your peace, and all your gifts to all beings everywhere. So others will be inspired and want to follow you, and follow the way of compassion. So we close the practice with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Instill the peace within, send it to all. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Sending much love to you.